In this video, we're going to show how we can export model data from source model or an original file and create a new model from it using the INP method. So in this model, we have 10 floors. We have a mat slab, walls, columns, and if we go over here to the tendon toolbar, we also have tendons in the model, as well as support lines and splitters. So we can turn on, for example, X support lines, and splitters would be similar to support lines. So we're going to first go ahead and go to File, and I'm going to export an INP file. We're going to call this INP Model 1. And I'm going to go ahead and just save this file, and I'll close it for just a moment. We're going to then open a new instance of Builder. Make sure you select the proper programs that you want to use in this instance. So we'll go back to File. We're going to import the INP file, and I'll select Model 1. That will open the Import Options dialog. You'll notice that in the Import Options dialog there are two options here. There's Update or Create. If we look at this default setting when we're in Import Options, the default is to import everything. You can see all the components are grayed out. If we import and create a new model, that's going to import everything. If we select down in the list any particular level, maybe the bottom plane, for example, this is a mat, notice that the program then allows us to filter out what components we want to import into that particular plane. So it's a group of components. You can't isolate one specific component, for example, out of the column or the wall group. So this would import the bottom plane from the source INP file, and it would insert it at the current plane in the model that we're creating here. Now if we go back, and you'll notice even if I switch this from Floor Pro to Mat, I still have Edge open. We can still build a model even in mat mode, a multi-story model. So the only limitation here is we have to, when we design, we would actually be designing the mat level versus the elevated floor levels. So we're going to import again. INP import options will appear, and we have a similar set of defaults. The default for create new model is all. The reference plane is bottom because we opened the program in mat. So if I import bottom plane to bottom plane, again we can filter out these options. You can also choose to update a level. If we update a level, we also have options here that can be filtered, and when we update the level, that will allow us to actually set a reference plane. In the create option, the reference plane is locked. So when I import this level, it's going to import it into this particular reference plane here. If I come out of this file, and let me go up one level to current plane, and I come back and I import INP, you'll notice this is still set to bottom plane because it's referencing off of the mode of the program that you're in. So if I go back to bottom plane, this is going to be imported at bottom plane. This is creating a new model in which the level that we're importing is called bottom plane. If we update, we can then reference the reference plane. Okay, so that's the difference between these two. You can also filter out load cases and combinations in the import. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new model with everything. I'll include the applied loads here for load cases, and I'm going to map the dead load to our default dead load. Notice the difference, there's an underscore here. This is just text. There's no character between the two, and this should actually be live load. Load combinations, I can import all of those. We'll select OK to import. Okay, and notice when I import this, if I go to a 3D view here, we can see all of the components. Now, one thing to note is the support lines and splitters do not get imported through INP. Those components are not contained in the INP file. So in order to import those in, what I'll do is I'm going to go to File, I'm going to save this. I'll just call this Model 2. I'm going to open the original file. Okay, and I'm going to turn on anything that's not contained within the INP file. For example, support lines and splitters. And we will just go to the visibility option, view settings. I'll turn on my support lines. This model doesn't have splitters, so I will select by type, support line, and I'm going to either from the home menu or from the modify menu, you can either copy here or we can press Control C. I'll use Control C, and then I'm immediately going to go and open the other file. It's going to ask me to close this file. We have to close the source file in order to copy it. Okay, this is try to open that one again. Okay, this is Model 2. I'll go to Multi-Story View, Control V, and I'm just going to press O for origin. And that is done copying. We can escape. Okay, so the trick here is you must close the source file and open the original file kind of in the same string there. So I immediately copied, Control C, I went to open Model 2, I saved model copy, that closed, and then I just Control V or use the modify option for paste in the program. Hopefully that's helpful for the viewer. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact us at support@adaptsoft.com.